All right, let's get started. Good morning, everyone. I think we can do better than that, yeah? Good morning, everyone. Perfect, perfect. One of my goals is to make this session more energetic, the best session you had in Ignite. So help me out there, yeah? And feel free to applause whenever you see a great demo or great notes that I'm sharing with you, announcement I'm sharing with you as well. I'm thrilled to be here today because this particular topic, labels, that we have been working on in my team for over a year now. And at this moment, I've been waiting for it over a year now. So I'm excited to be here. I'm Sesha Mani. I'm a principal PM manager in SharePoint and OneDrive team. My team owns the security, policy, and compliance, all aspects around that for SharePoint and OneDrive for Business in Office 365. I also here with me my colleague Sanjayan, who is a program manager in my team, who's focusing on these labels aspects as well. So let's get started. The first thing I wanted to mention is the landscape of the digital data growth and the devices explosion that we are seeing. As you see, back in 2013, it was about 4.4 zettabyte of data. This is all up digital data. And now in 2020, it's grown up to 44 zettabyte of data. Just to give you a perspective of what is a zettabyte, how many of you watch Netflix? Yeah? So if you take the catalog of those movies and then stream them for 3,000 times, right? All the catalog of the movies and stream them for 3,000 times, that's 1 zettabyte, basically. And now this explosion is just going to still grow, right? It's not going to stop here in 44 in 2020. In fact, just take it that closer to our own Microsoft tenant, which is Microsoft IT tenant. That's the first and foremost tenant that we enabled Office 365. 2015, it was about 600 terabytes of data that we had. Now, in 2018, that has grown up to 3,300 terabytes of data. So every year, almost it doubles the digital data in our tenant, because more and more employees within Microsoft and across the globe, they prefer to actually have everything in the cloud itself so that it's easy to access and collaborate and also secure and more compliant as well. Now, not only the data, but the way they access the corporate data is changed dramatically. It used to be you stick to the data, desktop and MacBook or PCs to access the data, corporate data, or you come in through VPN to access the data. But it's no longer the case. They expect to access the data from anywhere, from their personal devices, from the computer at home, when they are in the airport, in the Starbucks coffee shop, they share the devices. When they are visiting their client, they want to be able to access it. So the way they access the corporate data has dramatically changed. And the expectations are very different now compared to where it was 3 to 4 years ago. So there is definitely an explosion of how people are accessing the data. The heterogeneous nature of that access pattern has completely changed. So in this session, we are going to talk about both aspects, both your digital data growth, how do you easily govern that growth that you are seeing, as well as the devices growth, the heterogeneous nature of the devices, how people are accessing that pattern or data, how to deal with that as well. Before I get in, I think this is one of the best problem that I saw. Just complexity is the worst enemy of the security. How many of you agree with that, first of all? All of you, yeah. Because as you introduce more and more layers of protection, as well as this heterogeneous nature of how you get into the access the corporate data, that introduces a lot of complexity. And that's where, how do you now secure the data so that there is no leakage of data in means that you don't want is also become problematic too. On the other hand, in this digital world, your users are your firewall. What I mean by that is you can put in all the VPN or security firewalls, physical firewalls around it, but you also have to make sure, because your users at the end of the day will find ways to get to the data and share the data with however they like. So you need to actually shift your mindset to treat your users or your firewall. And you will see throughout this session, that's actually the mindset that we have been living in the last year when we're building this future, okay? So what's the solution here? So rather than me describing a solution, I thought it will be good to actually have the customer's case study who have already deployed some of these policies that I'm about to show you. TD Bank, he's our customer here. So let me roll the video.
The bank of the future looks like a personalized, connected, and a very mobile experience.
We need to be where our customers are. That's important for us.
We have to enable our employees to interact with customers in a mobile fashion.
When you talk about mobility, the first thing that comes to mind is security. Microsoft's really unlocking the potential to provide a significant improvement in productivity and greater control around security. Managing the data, protecting the data, that's where our customers' trust comes from.
With Office 365, we can confidently give those capabilities to our employees that meets our strictest requirements from a privacy perspective, a security perspective, and the regulated world that we operate in. Enterprise mobility and security is a huge part of being able to give our employees the ultimate in flexibility and mobility.
Taking the beyond your desktop, to connect people from different offices together as if they were working side by side.
Having an inclusive and empowering workplace is critical.
Enhancing people leadership skills to provide.
Office 365 gives us an accessible environment and support people with different diverse needs.
We're in the business of providing legendary customer experience. Our employees are a huge part of that. Office 365 is a core pillar of us delivering that personalized, connected, and mobile experience to our employees.
So as you saw, personalized, connected, and enterprise mobility, security, and the privacy that they saw in Office 365 was the main driving factor to adapt. And now they are having more and more usage into the Office 365 and in a more secure and the compliant way, especially in the financial sectors. How many of you are here from financial sector or working with the financial sector people? So you all know how important, how regulated that industry is. And it is with the promise that we have made in security and privacy and compliance that they are actually adapting Office 365 as well. Now let me actually walk you through what are the key promises around securing SharePoint and OneDrive content. There are three main pillars that I want to focus on. Throughout this session, I will talk about each pillar in detail. The first one is around protecting access from unmanaged devices. This addresses the devices explosion that I talked about in my first slide. The second one is around simplifying governance through this classification labels aspects. This addresses the explosion of digital data that we are going to see and we are seeing, and how do you govern them easily and a seamless fashion. Then last but not least, comprehensive insights to the label activities that you are seeing or governance aspects you are seeing in your tenant itself. Because at the end of the day, as an admin, we are going to start somewhere with certain policies. You need to learn whether that satisfies your corporate needs or not, and then you need to adjust as the life cycle and as the business needs of your corporate changes. So you need to have the full insights of what's happening in your tenant as well. So let's dive in. The first pillar we're going to talk about is protecting access from unmanaged devices. Now, many of you know, a year ago, we have actually introduced a concept of limited access mode in SharePoint and OneDrive for Business. We introduced it at the tenant level. So Office 365 as an organization, you can decide when users are accessing your corporate content from unmanaged device, do you want to allow them access? If so, you want to allow them full access or limited access. That means they can only do limited experiences. They cannot download, they cannot print or sync the documents. Or you can completely block the access. So that is at the tenant level, you can configure that. That was a big hammer, so you just have to choose the tenant level. But now, we have introduced it even at the granular level. At each individual site collection, you can choose what's the access pattern you want. Do you want the full access from unmanaged devices, or limited access, or block access? So let me actually show you a quick demo of how to configure this at the site collection level, and what's the end user experience will look like as well. So I'm going to switch to the demo machine here. Here we go. So here I am in the beautiful SharePoint new admin UX. How many of you actually have been using new admin UX? For others, there is actually an easy way. You can go into your existing admin UX. At the very top, there is an option to click preview of new admin UX, so you can start using it as well. So here I'm in the new admin UX. The first thing I want to point your attention to is, if you noticed, we introduced a new tab called Access Control. This is the single tab where we are planning to bring and make discoverability much easier for you for any sort of policies and governance that we are going to introduce in SharePoint and OneDrive. This is the single place to go and learn about all those things. And of course, this is the starting point. We are going to add more and more information here, because that way, you as an admin know clearly what are all the possible policies and configurations you have for your organization. Because many times, we have seen discoverability and just being not aware that this thing existed is actually the problem, right? So we end up using the previous settings that we had. So that's why we are introducing this single tab where you can learn all about it. Now I'm going to click on Unmanaged Device. That is one of the policy that I would like to set up here. And as you can notice, this is showing me 3 options that I can now do with this Unmanaged Device policy. The first one says allow full access. That means when users come from unmanaged device, they get a full experience of SharePoint and OneDrive. The second one is allow limited web-only access. So when they come from unmanaged device, they get a limited access only in the web, and they cannot download, print, or sync the documents to their unmanaged device. They can be productive. They can open the document in the web, edit the document in the web, co-author the document with other colleagues as well. So they are still being productive, but it's just that they cannot just download it and be the victim of leaking the data to someone else. So that's why you can choose to have a limited access mode as well. The last but not least, if you want to completely block it, you can block access as well. Now, this is great at the tenant level, but this could be a very big hammer, because typically in a tenant, you have multiple sensitivity of the data. So you may want to actually choose these options at the site collection itself. So let me show you how to actually do that. So I'm going to switch to my favorite tool, SharePoint PowerShell module. So here I actually have 3 site collections. The first one that you are seeing is Solar Energy Training Site Collection. And I have set the access policy as allow full access, because that site collection is just the training material. And I actually want my employees to be able to see all the training materials no matter where they are, so that they can always knowing and learning what is happening in my Contoso organization. The second one I have is the Solar Energy Accessories Site Collection. Now, this site collection is a project site collection, and there is a site owner for it, and in some level, it's a confidential site collection. So I don't want to give full access for that site collection, so I choose to give them limited access for that site collection. So you can see the conditional access policy I set as allow limited access. The last one I have is the site called Solar Energy Strategy Site. Now, of course, it's strategy, so that means we are thinking and discussing about our 4 or 5-year strategy. So I want this to be a classified top secret site. So I don't want people at all to access the site when they come from personal device. So I'm setting this here as block access completely. So you can see at the 3 layers of site collections, now I have chosen different experience so that when the user comes from their personal device, they will actually get the tailored experience. But at the same time, they are productive. That has to be a really important point, because you don't want them to completely block. If you do, you guys know they will find some other way to do their work and to start sharing as well. So this way, especially when you're working on a strategy site, for example, you know that you need to keep the data within the corporate aspects. So that's why it's OK to block those kind of site collections. Now let me switch to the end user experience real quick and show you how that experience from an end user perspective looks like. So here I am in the Solar Energy Training site, and you can see it at the URL at the top. I have full access to this site collection. So I have the news rollup showing for me. If I go ahead and click on my document library right here, it's going to give me the list of documents. Let me zoom it in for you. And you can select the document. You can see all the options are available for me. So I can download the file here itself. And if I want to sync this particular directory, I can actually sync the whole document library as well. So I have the full experience here. On the other hand, I'm going to switch to the Solar Energy Accessories site right here, as you can see in the URL. And the moment when I come from the unmanaged device, it also shows me an information bar saying your organization doesn't allow you to print, download, or sync using this device. So the user is always on the know-how what's happening and why he's not seeing some functionalities while he's coming from the personal devices. So this is keeping the user informed what's happening, what experience he's getting, but at the same time, you are protecting your data, corporate data, from leaking in the personal devices. So this is where the very first slide I showed, the user is your firewall, so we need to keep him informed. We need to make sure he knows what's happening so that he is mindful of not going other ways to get the data. Now, let me show you quickly if I go into the document library, and if I select a document, let's say right here, and if you notice, there is no option for me at the top to download this document at all. The only option I have is open the document in web. I can copy the link to the document. I can then share the document. I can, of course, edit this document and be productive on the web itself. Last but not least, I'm going to now switch to the classified side, the strategy side that I was talking about. And as you notice here, as soon as I try to access that site, I get this experience where it's completely blocked. And of course, we will improve this experience. We are looking at how you can actually provide a tailored customer experience here so that you can inform them the site is blocked because you are coming from personal devices. You can point them to a guideline page that you may have for your enterprise saying, here is our rules when you have a strategy like classified sites, accessing them for personal devices. So we will improve this experience further in the future as well. But you get the point across, you get the point. So it will immediately, based on the site collection and based on what's the sensitivity that you have there, you can choose different experiences when they come from personal devices. You guys like it? Yeah? All right, so now I'm going to switch back to the slide. So the question is, does it help the end users and IT admins? Now we just introduced another policy or aspects of when they come from personal devices, what the experience should look like. Well, when I think about this, I said, okay, there is a device policy that the user has to know to configure or as a site owner. And then also there are privacy settings that they need to know whether I want a site collection to be private or a public. And also there could be other guest policy settings that I need to configure for the site collection. And perhaps there are many, many other more settings that you need to know how to configure for your site collection. So the question is, wouldn't it be easier if there is actually one orchestrator that actually end user can just set? Behind the scene, rest of the settings are automatically get set as well. And as a security admins or IT admin for your organization, you decide what the setting's supposed to be for a given orchestrator policy. The question is, are we there yet? Absolutely. Today, we're thrilled to announce the unified labels for Microsoft Information Protection. The concept of labels existed for some time. I do want to acknowledge that. But now what we are doing is bringing the unified labels concept so that across the board, it is the same labels that the end users will see, so that it's a consistent experience. And that's the only thing they have to select. Once they select the label appropriately, behind the scene, all the rest of the policy settings that I just showed you will automatically get applied as well. Before I go into the demo, let me actually quickly show you. Ooh, here we go. Let me do it one more time. I really like that. Okay, so let me give you some context on what is unified labels. So across Office 365, Windows, and in Azure, across all the resources that are under the umbrella of Microsoft 365, we want to be able to govern in a uniform fashion with the unified labels. That's why we named it. I see a lot of cameras going up, so I'll stay there this side for a minute. That's why we named this as Microsoft Information Protection. First and foremost, what is it? It is about consistently you can detect the content and classify the content to protect and preserve your sensitive data. If you notice throughout the session, I use the word sensitivity because really at the end of the day, if you think about it, at the core of security, it's actually the sensitivity. That's what it matters, right? Training material, I don't care that much. Classified strategy document, I care a lot, right? How many times you are at the CIO or CSO office talking a lot about your sensitive data? Why? That is the core of your business, right? Every business has that core sensitive data. Every business has the confidential data. That is super, super important, right? So that's why sensitive data and how do you protect that is super important. Second, where are all you can apply them? You can apply them in Office 365 apps and services, which I'm going to show you throughout this session, Windows clients, and as well as Azure services in the future as well. And you can configure them in the Microsoft 365 Security and Compliance Center. Not only here, in the future, we are looking at ISVs, many of you right here, how you can take advantage of these unified labels concepts so that the apps that you are developing against Office 365, you can also take advantage of these unified labels as well. So this is where the MIP SDK comes into play. So we will give you a full rich SDK that you can use to build your apps, and then you can retrieve this list of M365 MIP labels and then take advantage of them in your third-party applications as well. I'm going to now switch to specific deep dive in Office 365. I thought it would be better to show you in the demo itself. So let me actually switch to the demo. So here I am in the Microsoft 365 Security and Compliance Center. I'm going to switch to the labels section here under classification. It's going to load me the list of labels that I have configured for my organization. So I have here general, confidential, and then top secret, as well as the other label as well. And I'll come to that last label in a minute. So here I'm going to select the confidential label. And you can see, as part of this label configuration, I have many settings that I can configure for this label. I can configure the content marking for this particular label. That means if this label got applied on a document, what do we want to show as the watermark or header and the footer? Other example is I can also configure the site and groups settings for this label. So let me actually drill deeper into that particular sites and group settings. So right here, you are seeing the list of possible settings that you can set for your sites and groups. So when I create a site collection, and the user hits this particular label confidential, this is the setting it will automatically get applied behind the scene. So user doesn't have to think about it all the time. We as administrators, as security administrators or data administrators, we set these settings appropriately for them. So all the end user have to do is to pick the classification label, right? So the first setting is the privacy setting, private or public. Many of you are aware in Office 365 groups, we have this setting. Also, we have allowed external user access. Do you want external users to be part of that particular group or not? So you can select that setting as well. And then also the unmanaged device settings. Remember the one previous demo I showed you at each individual site collection, we have the capability to set the access mode. Now you can orchestrate that particular setting using this label itself. So you can see many of these settings, now we are basically giving you a way to orchestrate just by this label definition. All you have to tell your end users is just learn those labels and then pick the right label when you are configuring or creating your site collection. Now I'm going to switch to the SharePoint Admin Center to show you how the experience will look like for setting this label on a site collection. So here I am in the SharePoint Admin UX, and I'll zoom it in for you. I know it's a little bit smaller in the screen. So I'm going to switch to the sensitive label view, and as soon as I switch to it, you can see it gives me a nice view of the site collections that are sorted by sensitivity. Because I can see in my tenant what are all the site collections labeled as top secret or general or confidential, and more importantly, what are the site collections that are not classified as well in my organization. So I get the full view of this all list of site collections in this Admin UX. I'm going to go ahead and select a particular site. Let's say we are working on the next generation solar energy project in this Contoso Corporation. So I'm going to go ahead and select that particular site. Here I am, solar panels generation Y. You notice it is set as general, which I'm a little bit uncomfortable about because this is about our next generation project. So I would like to change this sensitivity label to be a confidential label. So let me go ahead and click confidential, click save, and that's it. That will automatically change the label definition for the site, and then behind the scene, the appropriate setting will get set up as well. I'm going to ask my friend Sanjay to show us how the experience for that site looks like in the end user perspective as well. Sanjay?
Sure, thanks Shashank. So, okay, so I am now logged in as John, and I'm in my SharePoint homepage. I can browse my SharePoint homepage. So Sesha, you need to move a little away from me.
Okay.
Because we can't be close.
I don't know why, but okay.
So you see, there's echo. So when I click on solar energy Gen Y, which he marked as confidential, you see just by click of one label and without signing out or signing in, the policy has been applied. So it is marked as confidential, it was marked as general, and then the policy of block download and block print is already applied. Okay. So this is how the end users can get the experience very easily through application of label.
So Sajjan, how the experience looks like in other endpoints, like for example, Teams, when they're accessing the same site collection from the Teams experience as well?
That's a good question. So if I go to the Teams experience, this is the same solar panel Gen Y, and I'm going in the general channel for Teams. Okay. Let me quickly click on one of the documents that are there. I say edit in Teams. So when the document opens up, we can see that a similar seamless experience of protection applies to the document. You see the bar appears on the top. So as soon as you apply the label, it protects all the documents in the site collection.
Awesome. So that actually, I think, deserves the applause for that, because basically, not only in the experience primary in the SharePoint UX, but any other endpoints where you are now trying to access that content, the same policy is getting applied as well. So that is super important to realize too, right?
Yeah, quickly highlighting the name of the label also comes up, and the privacy settings also shows up. So if you look at top right, confidential and private. So seamless everywhere.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Sanjayan. Now we're going to get moving for the next set of the demos. So this is pretty cool in terms of you can now set the labels on a given site collection, and then rest of the policies will automatically come up. But wait, there is more. Wouldn't it be easier that the same labels, list of labels that you see that I configured, also show up in the authoring point itself when the people are creating the document, and now being able to apply that label right there itself? Second of all, how many of you have legal departments in your organizations? Yeah? Okay. You all know, which is all of you again, they always have a unique requirement saying, I need to have a specific governance label that I can specifically apply a specific policies to it. But those kind of labels, you want to ensure it's only scoped for that legal department users, so that not everyone in an organization is now getting all the labels, getting the noise of all the labels. Rather, for every individual end user, they just want to keep it 2 or 3 labels. That's it. Keep it very simple. But for these power users who are in your legal department or finance department, it's okay. They know what they're doing. So let them see all the labels. Perhaps you create the label, but scope it only for that list of users in that department, which we believe is a very, very important use case. As you all just raised your hands, you have departments like legal departments in every organization that have unique needs. So let me show you how to actually create these labels that are targeted for specific departments in your organization. So here I am, back to the demo machine. I'm going to click on the specific label, M&A Legal Highly Confidential. This label I have configured such that the policy is a little different from the confidential label that I showed you just now, wherein if the users come from unmanaged device, let me go ahead and click on the sites and group settings. You will notice here that I actually want to block access when they come from unmanaged device. Because legal department told me, you know what, Sesha, I just wanted to block access when somebody comes from personal devices trying to access a document in my legal site collection. So I said, great, I'll create you a label. It is independent specifically for your organization, and I'll set the corresponding policy. Now the question is, how do you target this label just for legal department itself? Now that's where you go into the sensitivity policies. So here, when you create a label, there is a process of publishing that label to your end users. So here I have the publishing experience. I can click on edit, which users will see this label. So right here, you can see that publishing to the users and groups. And I have picked the specific legal group called Mergers Acquisition Legal Group is the specific targeted users for this label. Now, this security group is a very typical Active Directory security group. It's already managed with members in it. So I, as the label admin, don't have to worry about it. I trust my directory admin. He will take care of who the right people are. All I have to do is scope that label to this particular security group itself. So now, Sanjay is coming to show us how, as the user John Doe, who's part of that legal department, is experience going to be in the Office client.
Okay, 8. Okay, so I'm in Word and I'm logged in as John today. So you will see the seamless experience that you were seeing on web as well is you see the sensitivity label as a menu item, and then since Sesha published the label to me, I am from the legal department, I now see an additional label showing up. So I see general, confidential, top secret, and the M&A label that you have published. So, and the experience is again seamless. If I choose the, say, for example, confidential, you see the header, the watermark, and then if you choose M&A, you see all the labels getting applied. When you apply the top secret label, which has encryption on it, okay, it's encrypted, shows the lock icon. So again, the experience is absolutely seamless. Now, what I'm going to also show you is, you can save these documents, okay, and apply to upload these documents to SharePoint, and then SharePoint will understand and interpret this label and act accordingly. So let me go ahead and save this document. Saved, go back to my site, I can choose. So this is what I was talking about. If you see, we have introduced a new column called sensitivity. So as you upload the documents, the labels will start showing up here. Your end users can filter, can sort by the sensitivity. So I'll go ahead and upload my document.
So the same sensitivity hierarchy that I showed you in the admin UX, now for the end users and site owners, they can see it in the document library as well, as long as the document is actually explicitly labeled.
Okay, so as soon as I upload the document comes up, shows the label confidential. Okay, and then if I open the document and edit it in web, just trying to show the experience is seamless as an end user. So you can go to the reading view, and you can see that everything is already there. So the document is protected, and the headers, the watermarking, footers, everything is seamless, both on web and for desktop as well. One last thing I would like to quickly show is
He got a lot of demos for you. I need to tell him show a little bit because we are running out of time, but
yes, very quickly. I'll not create the site, but when we are in the site creation experience as well, as an end user, when I'm creating sites, I see the exact same set of labels. So let's say I go and try to create a team site and say, I hope I did not create the same name. Ignite 2018, available. Okay, so I see as an end user the labels, and I can choose the labels confidential and top secret and general. The privacy setting is governed by the label. So when you select confidential, the privacy setting is already set to private. You cannot change it. If you move it back to general, okay, and then it becomes public, as an end user, I can click on this icon and see what are the settings that are attached to this. As an admin, you can put more verbose text so that your end user knows what they are choosing and they're choosing the right things. Okay, and when I create the site, I'll not create the site session because we're running short of time,
yes,
but the site will be protected from inception itself. So it is not that you have to create a site and then send an email to my admin and he will run PowerShell to change the settings. You get the benefit of protection and all the goodness when creating the site by just choosing the right label.
That's perfect. Yeah. Okay. Oh, thanks very much, Sanjay. But wait, there is more. You noticed at the top, I actually have retention labels as well. So the same concept of unified labels, we ensured that you can also create labels that are meant for compliance purposes. That's where the retention labels come into play. So here I am on my retention labels section. I have configured a tax contract retention label. Let me zoom it in for you. And this label is basically meant for, so let's say, 7 years retention I want to apply. So any document or the folder, when it's set for tax contract retention label, it automatically picks up the retention policy, which is 7 years, and perhaps there are so many other policy settings I've configured for that. So you can configure those retention-based settings just based on this retention, in this particular retention label configuration itself. The other aspect I would also call out is if I go to the label policies for the retention labels, you can also automatically monitor the content and then apply the appropriate retention policy as well. So here I have the specific content type based on the retention labels, and I can apply the retention policies automatically. So it looks for the content type called tax contracts, and then it automatically applies that particular specific label, which is the tax contract label, to all those documents as well. So I can choose automatically doing the retention label, or let the end user, in the experience of SharePoint Web UX, they can choose what the appropriate retention labels are. Now again, remember, you may want to expose these kind of labels only for your compliance power users, right? Not for every end user. So you can target to a specific users as well, so that only they are the ones seeing this label. How you guys like it? Yeah? Good. So I'm going to really quick summarize what we have shown us so far. The first and foremost point is the sensitivity labels that I mentioned that can be applied for both content as well as containers. Content meaning any files or emails also that you use in Exchange. I see a lot of cameras going up, so I'll stay in the slide for a minute. Second most important one, container labels, you can associate richer policies. We showed you that. And those policies will automatically get honored in all the items in your site collection. Those container labels, policies, stay inside the cloud itself. So as long as the document is inside that container, it will be protected based on those policies. The document labels that Sanjayan showed you on the Office client will be embedded inside the document itself, so that as the document is traveling across the different places, it will stay inside the document itself. Last but not least, there are separate labels for sensitivity and compliance, which is the retention labels, because we believe that distinction is super important, and that's why we are giving you that flexibility of giving a separate labels for sensitivity and retention label. Now, but wait, there is more, which is the analytics spaces. So let me quickly show you how the label analytics will look like, because now that you have the concept of sensitivity labels and the retention labels. So here I am in the Compliance Center, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Label Analytics. It tells me right away how many items in my organization are labeled, so about 320,000 items, and also which locations they are marked as well. So I get a clear view of which particular workload or resources that are actually labeled. Second of all, you can also show what is the most used retention labels and most used sensitivity labels. Now this gives me a view of, I configured these labels, are users using it properly, or are they overusing it, or do I have to create any other labels? So I can do those analysis based on what is the mostly used labels, is that an expected behavior that I want from my organization users. Also, you can see who the users are who are heavily using this label as well. So I get an idea, is this, for example, the legal department label that I mentioned to you, or the right people in the legal department are actually using those labels or not. Last but not least, I can also see the labels usage over time. So that is right here. So you can see over time how the experience, how the people are using in your organization the labels, both sensitivity labels and retention labels as well. And of course, in the interest of time, I'm just giving you the high-level view. You can drill in each of these labels. So you can click on a specific sensitivity label. Let's say M&A legal department label. You can go into the detail and say, in the last 3 months, who has applied this label to which particular site collection, to which particular document in your organization. So you have a complete 360 view of what's happening in your organization. Yeah? You guys like it? I'm going to now close with few final thoughts. There are 3 main promises that I showed you about. So first and foremost is the device policies. If the clicker comes back, here we go. Protecting access based on unmanaged device access. The second pillar, which is the most important one we spend time on today, is around simplifying your governance through classification labels. I hope you guys liked all we showed today. Last but not least you have a full visibility of how these labels are applied in your organization. That's the insights part as well. Now, here is another important slide where you may want to take pictures, roadmap where we're looking at. So there are a lot of features already available today, like access policy at the site collection, idle session timeout, retention policies, data governance, as well as file restore for ODB, which Navjot showed us yesterday as well in the demo. In Q1 of calendar 2019, we are looking at providing preview of sensitivity labels for SPO sites and groups. Second of all, the MIP retention labels for compliance, which is based on content types that I briefly showed. That's also in the preview. And then automatic labeling for retention labels. That also will be in preview. The file restore for team sites, the demo that Navjot showed yesterday, that will also be in preview. And finally, the advanced threat protection with devices support. And I know what you're all thinking right now. You guys said automatic labeling for retention labels. What about automatic labeling for sensitivity labels? I was going to say, I expect somebody to repeat that. Well, we are thinking about it. We don't have a timeline to share with you today, but definitely it's on our roadmap. So to summarize, complexity is the problem, worst enemy for the security. We believe simplicity is the friend. That's why we are introducing the whole new concept of classification labels. But also remember, your users are your firewalls. So that's why we are providing all these experiences so that's consistent for the end users. So with that, I will wrap up and happy to take more questions from you guys. So please go to the microphone if you have any questions there. Okay, thank you. Yes, sir. Good.
Hi. What about data loss prevention and external sharing? Is that also included in those policies? I noticed that.
So just repeat the question. The question was, is external sharing policies included as
Yes.
part of the label
Yes.
as well? So it's not there today, and we are definitely looking for feedback from you on what policies we want to include as part of the label governance. Now, another key point is we don't want to, I would say, have every setting in SharePoint is now governed by label, right? This is about sensitivity of the document itself. So that's why we want to be mindful of which one we are introducing. What I showed you is the V1 experience of what policies can be applied to the label. Yes?
Yes, we currently have Office 365 labels set up, even auto-applied through sensitive information types. So now that we're at that point, how do we transition to these new MIP labels?
So what you can do is those labels or sensitive types you have configured, those are going to be useful for you even in this journey as well. So all we are now doing is trying to unify this experience so that whatever you have configured in your sensitivity types or DLP policies or even Office 365 groups classification tags, you will be able to reuse them or migrate them to this particular experience as well. Yeah. Yes, you will be able to migrate to get to this experience. Yeah. We want you to get to this experience for sure, because as you can see, it has a much more unified and long-term view of this. So yes, I'll take a question from here. Yeah.
Hi. So how does these sensitivity labels relate to the permission levels on the site collection, like within the document libraries and all?
Great question. So permissions are fundamental to SharePoint. So there is no changes in that regard. You still have to allow users either read access or write access in order to access the document on the site collection itself. What you're seeing here is what we call the conditional access. On top of those permissions, if they come from, let's say, unmanaged device, should you even allow it? Even though Sesha has permission to access the site, but when he comes from unmanaged device, what the experience should look like.
That's a device, right? But
what's that?
That's the device policies.
That's the device policy. Those are the conditional access policies that you can now govern based on this label itself.
But I'm asking about the privacy settings, privacy policies. If you set the site to private versus you're saying only members can access the site?
Well, private in the sense you are specifically saying the specific list of users that you are adding to the site, which you still have to do, they are the only one will have access to the site collection. So private means you're only allowed or visible to those particular group itself. So that's all the private setting is all about.
External versus internal. Like
what's that?
It's either external users versus internal users. Is that how it works? Or?
The external versus internal, like I was just telling him earlier, that's a separate external sharing setting, which we are looking at how do we bring it in to this part of the label governance as well.
Okay, thank you. I'll let others.
More people. Yes, please go ahead.
3 quick questions.
Oh, wow. Okay.
When will
If I
this?
don't answer your question, I'm happy to actually stay outside just to answer the questions too, because I just want to make sure that next person can
Sure.
get into this thing.
Is,
Yeah, go
is
ahead.
this
Yeah, go ahead.
available for GCC High?
Is this available for GCC High? Yes,
Yeah.
it will available for that.
Okay.
Because that's a highly regulated environment, so of course, yes.
Okay. For mobile devices that aren't registered through Intune,
Yes.
are they considered unmanaged?
Yes, they are. If they don't
Interesting.
have a device, well, let me take it back. If you have a device management solution like Intune, there are other solutions out there as well. As
Okay.
long as it is considered or supported in Azure Active Directory,
Sure.
which is the main trust issuer for our SharePoint and OneDrive.
Sure.
It doesn't matter whether it's Intune or AirWatch or Mobile Iron, other places. As long as it is managed by them, and then AAD will inform us saying it's a managed device, then we will accept it. Okay?
Perfect. All right. And for non-Microsoft applications, say
Sure.
Keynote pages, on an iOS device, how do these labels translate when working on documents? So you go to 365, you take a document down. You're not using Office on your mobile device. You're using, I don't know, Keynote.
Got it, got it.
How does an encrypted document open, or
Yeah.
does it
So,
not?
so let me take the question offline. That's a very detailed question you're asking
Okay.
there. In the interest of others, I want to give the opportunity. The short answer is the labels that we have showed you, we are working with players like, for example, Adobe PDF Viewer, like Adobe products. They are integrating with that third MIP's SDK that I talked about. So as long as they're integrating with those specific integration points, then they will be able to reason over these labels as well. That's
Okay.
the short answer, but I can offline talk to you in detail.
All right. Thank you.
Okay? Thank you. Yes.
Hi.
Actually, can I go there? Yes, please.
If a site or a tenant is set to limited access and a user is using an Intune MAM policy on their mobile device, will they be able to access the documents?
Yes, they will be able to, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll take your question here, yeah.
Yeah, great. Thanks for the great session.
Thank you, yeah.
Just a quick one. Maybe I missed it, but where do users configure the retention labels?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Where are the retention labels actually configured from a user perspective?
It's shown in the, if I go to the document library view, go to the information pane, there is going to be a retention label field that they can set right there itself.
So is that web only, or can you do it from the Office client, for example?
It's only in the web. Only the web they can actually set those labels.
And is that, there's no plan to change that? That's how it's going to be?
I'm looking for your feedback. If you have any other places that you think the retention label should be exposed as well. So let me kind of give you one hint there. So retention label is all about compliance, and it's all about retaining the document and other and sites, right? This is closer to the storage of the content itself. On the other hand, sensitive label is all about access, whereas when you author the document, you need to be able to pick it. So that's why we went and did the whole client experience for the sensitivity labels. But the retention label, we think, is closer to the storage, so it stays in the storage, which is in the SharePoint itself. I'm happy to hear feedback as well on that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just very briefly, we've had customers say, generally people work in the Office clients, so the chances of them going into that information pane are significantly smaller than seeing it just in the ribbon. But
I see.
I appreciate there's a bit more to the discussion, but thanks for answering the
Definitely.
question.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for the feedback. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I'll take you.
Okay, thank you. So the sensitivity labels you can apply to groups and also to content, so to documents.
Yes.
Can you have a different set to apply to groups than you have available for documents?
So it goes back to the legal department flow that I talked to you about. So you can create as many labels as you want, and then you can set the settings appropriately as well. So when I create the legal department label, I set only the container settings. I don't set any of the content settings, for example. Then that label is meant just for container settings. You can create another label that it has just the content settings, which is watermark, header, and footer, just that. That means that label will be just for the content settings. So you can create those kind of labels. Number two, then you can also target a specific users. So you can say, I created these container labels because my legal department wanted them. So I'm going to expose it only to that particular users. But in general, our recommendation is keep for all the enterprise users, just keep it 2 or 3 labels, as simple as possible. But for power users, of course, based on their needs, create as many as you like. Okay? I'll take the next question. Yeah.
Actually, I think they probably.
Okay, I'll take it there. Sure.
Thank you. So regarding the labels, do you see any application where you can do on-prem, either legacy, standalone SharePoint, or hybrid, or even with file share, whether it be through this or a complementary AIP type of technology or something that can inventory and apply your labels to that as well?
I didn't quite get the question. Can you, if you don't mind?
So for example, you define your labels here that you want to use enterprise-wide, but you still have unstructured data on-prem, whether it be in legacy SharePoint or hybrid SharePoint or even file shares. Do you see any technology you're talking about or complementary Microsoft technology that can apply labels to, again, like a file share or something like that?
Yeah, so the thing I didn't get a chance to talk about, first of all, is the Windows integration with this whole unified labels, right? Some of you may know already there is a Windows information protection. I believe there is a separate session available there as well. Our goal here is, or our vision here is, these labels that you configure will be actually exposed in Windows information protection aspects as well, so that you have a unified story across your Windows file servers as well as Azure and Office 365 as well. Okay? Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'll take this question here. Yeah?
My question is a variation of the other gentleman's question. So once I've applied sensitivity to a site, and of course the content accepts or adopts that same labeling and sensitivity, what if I have content within there that is already, has a different label already applied to it?
Great question. So if you have a container label that is set up, let's say confidential, and then you are now having some content inside that container which is highly confidential, for example. So the most restrictive will win. So if the document itself has the highly confidential, then that's what is going to win. And the policies applied to that will correspondingly win.
And is that in line with the prioritization defined in MIP, or is that something that is based on, like calculated based on the number of restrictions applied within a particular classification?
It's based on the classification setting that you configure. When you configure the label, remember I showed you the configuration settings. So based on what you configure in that aspect, we will honor the appropriate restriction on the content. Yeah?
And one last thing, this has been one of the best sessions I've had.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll take it here. Yes.
Can the conditional access policy be applied to individual OneDrive site collections?
Sorry, I didn't catch it. Sorry, repeat it.
Can the conditional access policy be applied to individual OneDrive site collections?
Yes, of course. Site collection is nothing but, OneDrive site collection is nothing but another SharePoint-like site collection. So that's why I was very clear, it's a site collection. So you can pick a OneDrive site collection and apply the conditional access policy there as well.
Since we have a variety of subscriptions, is there a certain subscription level that you have to be at in order to apply the?
So for the conditional access policy, which has the device limited access that I mentioned, you do need Azure AD Premium Plan 1, because only then you can configure conditional access in Azure Active Directory. But in Office 365, it doesn't matter whether it's E1 or E3 or E5, you will be able to use these policies.
Thank you.
Okay? Yeah, thank you. I'll take one last question. For others, I'll actually stay outside and take the questions, if you don't mind. Yes, please.
Excellent presentation today.
Thank you.
My question comes back to retention policies. When we're dealing with users, they're sometimes classifying both sensitivity and retention, and there doesn't seem to be a mechanism to really do that cleanly. So we may be having, let's say, a conversation with a document that needs to be retained because it's a certain type of record, and I'm not sure how we really integrate that sensitivity and retention in terms of one user input.
So from a user point of view, this is two separate concepts. At least that's what you wanted to educate them on. The retention label is all about compliance, and there will be the experience of SharePoint Web UX where you see the information pane. There will be two labels. One is called sensitivity, the other one is called retention. So the user can pick appropriate settings for based on sensitivity versus the retention independently. So it will never be confused for them. Either they see sensitivity only, which is in Office client, or they see both in the SharePoint Web UX itself. So you need to inform them or educate them, because keep in mind, retention label, at least unless you tell us otherwise, it's actually for power users or compliance aware users so that they can pick that label. So that's the reason why we have that independent distinction there. Also, the purpose is different, right? Retention is for compliance, whereas sensitivity is all about protecting your data. So
I think there are some use cases where it's not quite that clean. I'll talk to you afterwards.
I will talk to you offline. Absolutely, yeah. Thank you very much, folks.